Good evening, and I welcome you, students. As it's going to be a very important and amazing session. Last time we have told you Bohr's atomic model. Can you tell me fast? What are the two most important points about Bohr's atomic model, students? Why did Bohr propose this model? To overcome the problems which were coming in the model of the Rutherford atomic model. How did he overcome the problems, the drawbacks of Rutherford atomic model? That's our question.
Yes, sir. So there are some special orbits in which electrons move, and electrons while moving do not radiate energy.
That's very important, very, very important point. Anything else?
Sir, he named various orbits as KLMN.
Okay. All right. What I thank you for answering the question, students. What we are trying to say that in science, one model is given, there are drawbacks. More experiments are done by the scientists, and they say this experiment, observations, results, conclusions cannot be explained by the models of the Rutherford and Thomson. Now the question is, sometimes it is not easy. And then there are certain assumptions which are made. Assumption should be valid assumption, students, and should have a support of the experimental observations. Without experiments, it is not going to be a scientific thing. If I don't do experiment, then it is not a science, it is a psychology. Therefore, students, Bohr was performing large number of experiments on hydrogen spectrum, and he had sufficient knowledge of the drawbacks, the problems which were coming in the Rutherford model, because electron being a charged particle, if it will orbit around a positively charged center, it will not be a stable situation. Charged particles, when accelerated, emit radiations, emit energy. So that is something important. Then why they are not emitting the energy or radiation? But if they emit the radiation energy, then they will fall. So that was the postulate that there are specific orbits, definite orbits in which electrons are moving. And so long as they move, the energy will not change, will remain conserved, constant, orbits, shells. That was the idea given by the Bohr, so as to explain the stability of the atom. If atom is not stable, the matter cannot exist, because the matter is made up of tiny particles. Atoms are the building blocks of all the matter. Since there are different elements, there are different atoms, and as we discovered, protons, neutrons, and electrons, so as the subatomic particles will be different in different elements, so each atom will have different atomic mass. Each atom of a different element will also have different properties. And that is the reason when atoms will combine to form molecules, compounds, they will lead to different types of substances or different forms of the matter. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, students, we have started understanding the structure of the atom, which is very, very important. 19th century is important because that is where we are going inside the atom, but to see what is inside the atom. And another important point from chemistry, more in chemistry than in physics, is that why do atoms combine? Why should one atom combine with another atom? One element is combining with other. Why do we have such a large number of substances, such a large number of compounds which are being formed? The basic rule of science says, the physics says, if something is stable, why should it react? Should it react?
No, sir.
Okay. If I am comfortable, I am stable, I am quite happy. So I may not need to put extraordinary efforts. If atoms are satisfied with themselves, they are stable, there is no need for them to combine. But if atoms are not stable, they will try to combine to go to more stability. If Earth, supposing, consider billions of years ago, why the Earth has a shape which you are saying spherical type of shape you have been shown for the Earth. Supposing it was not spherical, if it was in a different shape like pentagon, hexagon, or some rectangular, then what would have happened? If that is not going to be stable, it will again dissociate into smaller or take a different shape so as to become more stable. So the things are trying to stabilize so that they become more and more stable. As we say that so many substances came together, formed bigger masses, and bigger masses started dissociating into smaller pieces. And those stable pieces, when they got stabilized by certain forces, what forces? And we today know the laws of the science, gravitational forces or electrostatic, all those laws applied naturally, and then they started getting stabilized. And also, you know, what we are studying in 9th and 10th in science, evolution process continued. There's a continuous mutation of our DNA going on for better and developing situation. Sometimes there are errors in that. So there could be disability also, right? So we
Yes, sir.
started understanding, but everything is made up of those tiny particles, atoms. And Morse and Bury were very great scientists. They had huge amount of scientific experience and knowledge, and they also came forward with certain rules which are very, very important. Those rules which were given by Bohr and Bury. They are very important from chemistry point of view. Bohr and Bury, these two people, so great genius scientists, Bohr and Bury. So they also gave a scheme how the electrons are distributed into different orbits in an atom. Why do we need that scheme? We will need that scheme in order to explain the chemical reactivity of the elements or the atoms. So if we want to explain, students, chemical reactivity or physical properties, chemical activity, or I say physical properties of the atoms, then it becomes necessary to understand electron distribution. Electron distribution in different orbits or shells as proposed by Bohr. For example, he said if n is equal to 1, then what is the shell name? K. N equal to 2 is L, n equal to 3 is M, n equal to 4 KLMN, and so on. Right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And they also gave that what is the maximum number of electrons. Maximum number of electrons was given by what rule, students? 2n square. So if n is 1, then what is the maximum electron in 2? 8. What will be 3 the square? 9 to 18. 4 the square? 16, 30, like this. So students, we can find what is the maximum number of electrons in each shell. At the same time, student, they also proposed another important thing. What is that so important? The maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in the outermost orbit. And this is a story which is important for chemistry students, how elements will combine, whether they will combine or not, or what is the valency of the element. Students, combining capacity of the element. Therefore, students, they gave an idea of what we are saying, outermost orbit. What do you mean by outermost orbit? When I will fill the electrons, as I said, the filling will begin from the lower energy to the higher energy. First electrons will go to the lower, then first the electrons will go to K, L, M, N, and so on. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
When this is completely filled, then only electrons will go to the next. When this is completely filled, then they will go to the next. Like this, the process will continue. Right? You have to complete this, then you go there, complete this, go to here, like this, they will go. That is what you mean by stability or lower energy states. So the outermost orbit is that orbit which contains the last electrons for any element when we will fill the electron distribution. What he says, the maximum number that can be accommodated in outermost orbit is 8. In other words, student, 8 is a important number, and in chemistry they call octet. Octet. If the outermost shell students or outermost orbit will get 8 electrons, has 8 electrons, that means it is stable and has no tendency to react. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Can we give some examples of such a situation, students? You have heard about noble gases, student? Noble gases. Noble gases, or they are sometimes called inert gases. Earlier they were called inert gases. Why do we call them noble gases, student? They show no or little tendency to react. These elements are stable and do not show tendency to react. Can you give me the names of some of the noble gases, student, which you are familiar with?
Argon.
Okay, you have heard about helium. Helium has how many electrons in the K? 2. Only 2 electrons in the K. So this is completely filled. Now this is an exception. This doesn't have 8. Only there are, because there are only 2 electrons, and only 2 can be put in K. So there are 2 electrons in K completely filled. So that shows no tendency to react. This is very stable. When it is stable, why should it react? Similarly, helium, neon, it has atomic number 10, it has 2. So neon, what will be the electron distribution of neon, student? Tell me, what will be the electron distribution? How many you will put in K?
2.
And 8. So the outermost shell is completely filled, which we call as it has octet. So they have octet. Similarly, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon. These are some of the examples of the noble gases. They have octet, and hence, what is the result of this? What we can say, what will be their valency, student? They have no combining capacity. Then I say their valency is 0. They are not combining. They are not combining, student. So their outermost shell is filled completely. They show no tendency to react. They possess an octet. They possess an octet. Therefore, we are saying they have no tendency to react. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
But other elements do not have octet. So they will react. Why will they react? To complete the octet. To complete 8 electrons in their outermost shell. So then they will be happy as they become stable like the noble gases. All right. So far, so good. Electrons are not accommodated in a given shell unless inner shells are filled. That's what we said. First, inner shells will be completely filled. Then they will go to the next higher one. A top question is coming, students. Write the distribution of electrons in carbon. So, students, atomic number of carbon will be given to you because we have not studied yet in this class. The atomic number, student, we will explain to you what is atomic number also in a short period of time, is 6. Number of electrons, I'm saying 6. Then what will be the electron distribution? How many will be there in the K?
2.
And L?
4.
So it does not have octet. So it will react. What it means? It will react. If I say sodium, student, the symbol of this is C, symbol of sodium is Na. I'm saying its atomic number. We will explain what is atomic number very soon. 11. Number of electrons 11, student. Then what will be this? KLM. How many in K?
2,
8,
8,
1.
1.
Now here you can see they do not have octet. Do they have octet?
No, sir.
So they are not stable. So they will undergo chemical reactions. They will react and form compound, students. Either they can gain electrons or gain electrons or share. We will see what it means. Okay. If K and L shell of atom are full, then what will be the total number of electrons in an atom? You have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question, students.
Ten electrons.
All right. K, L are atoms are full. How many K electrons? 2. How many? 8. So what is the total electrons? Total number of electrons? 2 plus 8?
10.
So total electrons, student, will be 10 electrons in the atom. If you will look up the periodic table, which will be learned very soon, then you will see which element is this. Which element is this, student? If you have any idea. 10 atomic number. Which element is this?
Neon.
Neon. You write Ne. It belongs to noble gas. This is a stable because it has octet, student. Shows no tendency to react. Therefore, student, we are now coming to the idea of valency, student. What do you mean by valency? What do you mean by valency? What you have studied in the earlier chapter, also something about valency, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
What was valency defined as? Combining a capacity of an atom. The tendency to react and form molecule with atoms of same or different elements. What we studied earlier, for example, you said hydrogen. What? Hydrogen, what is the combining capacity of hydrogen atom? Do you know what is the combining capacity of hydrogen?
1.
What is the hydrogen has only one electron. There is only one electron in the K. And next one, if it wants to go, that will be helium. Helium has atomic number 2. Helium has 2 electrons. So what it needs to complete the outermost shell? 1 electron. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So we can start defining valency in terms of the number of electrons, student. So I can say valency could be defined whether the elements or atom, what we can say, atoms can lose or gain electrons, student. Why will they do so? To complete
Octet.
So that could be important information about the valency. So we can say there are certain more elements, students, in our list. In fact, periodic table, you have 118 elements. It may not be possible for us to know the atomic numbers of all till we give you the information. If I say, if I take students, few which are very common, oxygen you use a lot. How many electrons are there in oxygen, students?
16.
16 is not the atomic, 16 electrons are not there. That is the mass of the oxygen. Number of electrons in oxygen, student. 8, I am saying. Oxygen is 8. So what is the going to be the electron distribution?
2 electrons in K and 6 in L.
Now you can see, student, here it wants to complete 8. If it or want to complete this, loss of 6 electron will be very difficult. Energetically, it will not be feasible. So in such cases, what it can do, it can gain 2 electrons. What will be then happening? It will become 8.
Yes, sir.
As I said, atoms can lose or gain electrons. Therefore, then you will say, here you said valency of hydrogen is 1. And what will be the valency of oxygen then? How many electrons it is gaining? 2.
2.
Therefore, you can say the valency of oxygen is 2. Therefore, we have now started understanding valency in terms of the electrons can be lost or gained, but electrons can be shared also, students. Can be shared also. Can be shared also to complete an octet. Not always they can lose. So there could be elements which may share the electrons. For example, student, if I take carbon, atomic number of carbon is 6. How many electrons are there in carbon, students?
6.
What do you have? KL. What is the configuration?
2 electrons in K and 4 in L.
2 in 4. Now, in this case, student, interesting thing is for the carbon, loss or gain of 4 electrons is very difficult energetically. Energy wise, not possible. Not possible or favorable. We will understand more as we go proceed to 9, 10th, 11th, favorable or possible. Then what it can do, it cannot give all the 4, it cannot take all the 4. In such cases, what they can do, they can share 4 electrons with some other element. So if it shares 4 electrons with other, what will happen? Then it will get 8 by sharing. So
Yes.
octet by sharing also possible. So their elements will play all these games in chemistry. They may lose electrons, they may gain electrons, they may share the electrons depending on which elements they are combining and how many electrons they can gain or lose. Energy is very important. Everything is energy. They have to, everything requires energy. And basically we are going to more stable state. And only thing which we told you right now is an octet rule. The outermost shell will try to get completely filled. That explains our valency for the chemistry point of view. Is the point clear?
Yes, sir.
So please pay attention and every term will be explained in a very simple manner by me. Valence electrons. You said that the outermost electrons are involved in the chemical action, chemical reactivity. And the valency is due to sharing of electrons or transfer of electrons or loss or gain, whatever we said to you, or with examples. Now, what will be the valence electron, student? They are very important. That is where the whole chemical reactions are taking place. The electrons which are present in the outermost shell of atom are known as valence electrons. Outermost shell. For example, let me take the case of sodium. I'm saying it has 11 electrons. What is the electron distribution? What is the electron distribution of sodium?
2 in K shell, 8 in L shell, and 1 in M shell.
So what are these are the valence electrons which are present in the outermost shell. It has 1 electron, 1 valence electron. Sodium has 1 valence electron. If I say student chlorine, it has 17 electrons. What is the electron distribution, students?
2 in K shell, 8 in L shell, and 7 in M shell.
Then what is the number of valence electron?
7.
7. Therefore, students, once we know the number of electrons, atomic number, we can easily find the valence electrons. And why they are so important? What is the significance of valence electrons, students? Why do we need to study them? What is the importance of this in chemistry? They will determine the valency of the atom. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So the combining capacity of an element will be decided by the valence electrons. Valence electrons. They are filled already. Inner shells are completely filled. These electrons are strongly bound by the nucleus. Only these are the ones which will participate. And as we said, they can be lost, gained, or shared. 3 things. Electrons can be lost, gained, or shared. Right?
Yes, sir.
From the valence shells. Valence shell or valence electron. Or the outermost shell. Outermost shell is the valence shell. Okay? We understood all these things. Any doubts, students?
No, sir.
All right. I say, oh, water, heal me. Sip water. Now, can we frame some rules for finding out the valency by using the valence electrons? If we solve large number of questions, large number of elements, see their valency, see their compounds formed, then we can come to certain rules which we are giving here. We are saying certain rules can be formed, student. First one, for atoms having valence electrons less than or equal to 4, valency is same as the number of valence electrons. For example, valence electron less than or equal to 4. What I'm saying, valence electrons. Where are valence electrons? In the outermost shell. Okay?
Yes, sir.
If they are equal to or less than 4, then their valency is equal to number of valence electrons. Example, hydrogen, you are saying, has 1 electron in the K. It is equal to or less than 4? Tell me.
Less than 4.
Less than 4. Then what is the valency of hydrogen? Equal to 1. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I take lithium, what is the number of electrons in lithium? It is Kl321. So lithium has 1 electron in the valence shell. It is equal to or less than 4.
Less than 4.
Then what will be the valency of lithium?
1.
1. All right, so good. If I consider students, then I take, supposing students, I take carbon. Carbon, you are having 6 electrons. What is that? 2, 4. Is it equal to or less than 4?
Equal to 4.
Then valency of carbon will be 4. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So we are just saying when in the valence shell, if 4 electrons are there or less than 4 are there, valency is equal to number of valence electrons. Simple rule. No problem. Tell me, any difficulty?
No, sir.
All right. If the number of number 1, if the number of valence exceed 4, then valency is 8 minus the number of valence electrons. Second rule is saying up to 4, number of valence electron equal to valency. After 4, what will happen? For example, nitrogen, student, nitrogen. 7 electrons. What is the electron distribution?
2 in K shell and 5 in L shell.
Now the 5 is greater than 4. Yes,
sir.
5 greater than 4. Then what will be the valency of nitrogen? 8 minus 5. How much?
3.
3. So nitrogen valency is 3. You have seen formation of ammonia. How many bonds it is forming? 3 hydrogens. 1 nitrogen, 3 hydrogen. Let me take oxygen. For oxygen, what is happening?
2 in K shell and 6 in L shell.
6 is greater than 4.
Yes, sir.
Then what is the valency of oxygen?
2.
8 minus 6. Note down everything, student. It will help you because such questions will be asked in the paper. We are taking slow and small steps. We're not hurrying up because then students will not understand, and after passing 12th also they don't know what is valency, how to calculate it. They are doing mistakes even up to college level. Our lectures will play and used, as I said, 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, college level and higher level. Simple things count more than bigger things. Smaller things will help you more than bigger things. Pay attention, have an intention to learn and note down each and everything. So student, we understood the 2 important things. Valence electron, 4 or less than 4. What is the valency?
Same as that of last.
More than 4?
8 minus number of valence electrons.
Okay. For example, if I take magnesium, student, Mg is 12. So what is the story of magnesium? KLM, how much?
2 in K shell, 8 in L shell and 2 in M shell.
This 2 is less than 4?
Yes, sir.
Then what will be the valency of magnesium?
2.
So magnesium valency 2. Magnesium valency, students, 2. All right. Oxygen, if I say 2, 6, you already calculated the valency of oxygen, 2. Now, if there are 8 electrons or completely filled, then what will happen to the valency? What will be 8 minus 8? 0. Helium exception, because helium has 2 electrons in the K. Now this is completely filled. Completely filled, students. Therefore, I say the valency of helium is how much? 0. It has no combining capacity. It is a noble gas or inert element. It doesn't react. There is no compound of helium formed, students. If I say neon 10, what is the neon 2, 8?
Yes, sir.
What is the valency?
0.
0. So we can say, students, the elements valencies idea is now known to us. The valency, most of the valencies what we are talking of, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 0. 0, students. See the range of the valencies also. So if I am able to write the electron distribution, students, then I have a catch of the valency, because that's the most important part in chemistry. We have to master it, learn it. And for 9th, it is expected that up to 1 to 20 elements, student, 1 to 20 elements, we should know the number of electrons, which we will tell you as atomic number, and should be able to write their electron distribution and their valencies. This is our homework. Can I proceed further, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So very, very vital table is coming. This table has been taken from NCERT book, is given, student. Information is very, very important. You be with me, student. First element is, what is the name of the first element?
Hydrogen.
Atomic number?
1.
Number of protons?
1.
Number of neutrons?
0.
0. Okay, this is very important. 0. This is the only element which has 0 neutrons. Number of electrons?
1.
Distribution?
1 and Keshav.
And valency?
1.
Okay, winner. That's what we told you. After doing all this, we are coming to, you can make a table now once you know the electron distribution. Helium, atomic number?
2.
Number of protons?
2.
Number 2. And number of electrons?
2.
Electron distribution?
2 in Keshav.
Valency?
0.
I told you already. Very good. Number 3.
Lithium.
Atomic number?
3.
Number of protons?
3.
Number of neutrons?
4.
Interesting. Number of neutron protons are not same here. See that? We are going to tell you what is number of neutron protons, atomic number, and all that. But here is the information table given in the book. What we have taken the table book from the book. Number of electron? 3. And 2, 1. What is the valency?
1.
Very good. Next.
Beryllium. Atomic number 4. Number of protons 4.
Number of neutrons?
5.
Dekho, not the same. Number of electrons?
4.
2, 2. Valency?
2.
Okay. One more information is coming now. The number of electron is same as number of protons. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Interesting. I mark it. All information, every bit of information will help us. And once we understand, we will be able to solve all the questions. Slow and steady wins the race. Take time, understand the table clearly, clarity. So many salient features will be there. Next one.
Boron.
Atomic number?
5.
Protons?
5.
Neutrons?
6.
And proton number and electron number same. That is why the atom becomes a neutral, because the positive charge equal to negative charge in magnitude. Otherwise, the atom cannot be neutral. If the atom is not neutral, then it will not exist, because it will react. It will react, students. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then 2, 3, valency 3. Next.
Carbon.
Tell me, atomic number?
6.
Protons?
6.
Neutrons?
6.
And here?
Electrons 6.
2, 4. Valency 4. Nitrogen?
Atomic number 7.
Next.
Number of protons 7.
Next.
Number of neutrons 7.
Next.
Number of electrons 7.
And
Electronic distribution 2 in K shell and 5 in L shell.
see, the valency is increased here from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maximum valency. This is the maximum. After that, valency is decreasing. Here increasing and increased. Valency increased, then they are decreasing. See the trends?
Yes, sir.
Maximum valency is 4, then it is decreasing 3, 2, 1, 0, and so on. Very interesting things. These are the informations. Every table has vast amount of information. Pay attention to each and every word so that we learn it, and then we will become masters and able to do all the questions very, very easily, students. Very, very easily. Every bit of information should be read very carefully. Next.
Oxygen, atomic number 8, number of protons 8, number of neutrons 8, number of electrons 8, electronic distribution 2 in K shell and 6 in L shell, and valency 2.
Okay. Next.
Fluorine, atomic number 9, number of protons 9, number of neutrons 10, number of protons 9, electronic distribution 2 in K shell and 7 in L shell, and valency 1.
One more information has come up to now. What is that information? You can see that elements which have got 1, 2, 3 electrons. They could elements which have 1, 2, and 3 electrons, students. 1, 2, 3. What they were doing? If element 1, I would say if there is 1 or 2 electrons, they will easily lose electrons. They can lose electron easily. But after 2, it is difficult to lose 3 electrons, 4, 5, and so on. So they may not lose, but they may share. They may do sharing. They will prefer to lose. And after this, 5 electrons cannot be lost, but they may start gaining. Okay? So they may share or gain, students. They are more likely to gain because there is only 1 electron. Gain is much easier. So we can also get an idea which will be losing electrons and which will be gaining electrons. General, I can say loss of 1 electron is easy, loss of 2 electron may be easy, and further loss will be difficult, more energy requirement. Then they will start sharing, and gain of 1 electron is easy. Gain of 2 may also be not that difficult, and gain of 3 may be more difficult. So in between, they will do 3 things they are doing. There will be elements or there will be atoms. We are saying atoms will do 3 things. Lose electrons, gain electrons, and share electrons to form what we call as chemical compounds or chemical bonds. So ultimately we are saying they will attain an octet by doing this process. They may lose, they will gain, they will share, and this will lead to formation of what we are saying different type of substances and chemical compounds. So they will form compounds, molecules, and the nature of bonds would be different, which will be also read. What is the next element? Neon.
Neon. This atomic number 10, number of protons 10, number of neutrons 10, number of electrons 10.
So they have no tendency to gain anything, so 0 valency. So there are elements with 0 valency also. You see they are noble gases. Next.
Sodium, atomic number 11, number of protons 11, number of neutrons 12, number of electrons 11.
Okay. Valency?
1.
Okay. Next.
Magnesium, atomic number 12, number of protons 12, number of neutrons 12, number of electrons 12, and valency 2.
Okay. Next.
Aluminium, atomic number 13,
Hmm.
number of protons 13, number of neutrons 14, number of electrons 13, valency 3.
Okay, very good. Next,
Silicon, atomic number 14, number of protons 14, number of neutrons 14, number of electrons 14, and valency 4.
valency 4. Next,
Phosphorus, atomic number 15, number of protons 15, number of neutrons 16, number of protons 15, and valency 3.5.
I mean, we'll see to you what it means. Actually, there are some isotopes which will be explained in more detail. But here, the valency can be 3 and 5. There are two valencies, not 3.5, 3 or 5. 3 or 5. We'll see all this as you will learn more about it. See? Next,
Sulfur, atomic number 16, number of protons 16, number of neutrons 16, number of electrons 16, and valency 2.
okay. Chlorine,
Atomic number 17, number of protons 17, number of neutrons 18, number of electrons 17, valency 1.
so you can see 7 means it can easily gain 1 electron. It can gain 1 electron very readily. And then it will get 8. So that's why the valency is 1. And argon is a noble gas. Again, what is that? 18. How much? 18.
Atomic number 18, number of protons 18, number of neutrons 22, number of electrons 18, valency 0.
Interesting. See, in number of proton neutron, our ratio is changing. More neutrons are here and zeros. All right. This is important. What you are trying to see now. We have to learn as per our course. How many? First 18. So atomic structure of first 18 elements has to be learned by all the students as per the syllabus. Okay? That's the reason we spend that much time, so that we understand and learn all this. And then we can write the, what we can do, we can write the electron distribution of all these elements, and we can find the valency of these elements also. Can you?
Yes, sir.
Will it be difficult now?
No, sir.
So you can see that sometimes proton and neutron ratio is changing. So that will lead to a different type of one element, one atom may have isotopes. We'll explain to you in the next class what is happening here. So everything is based on, you see, what they observed, that noble gases have a completely filled outermost shell. The valence shell is completely filled and they have no tendency to react. Therefore, they said, all right, other elements which do not have 8 electrons in the valence shell or in the outermost shell will react in order to complete the octet. So how they complete the octet? If they can lose 1 electron, easy. 2 may be easy, but if say 3, then it is difficult. They will share. And if they have 7, they will try to gain 1 electron. It is easier energetically. So energy requirements are there in all these cases in order to decide this. So we can do all these, students. So here is a top question, student, for you. How will you find the valency of chlorine? Question. How will you find the valency of chlorine, student? Chlorine, 17 electrons. How will you find the valency? What will you do? We are just done for chlorine 17. How did you say? 2, 8, 7?
Yes, sir.
Then to complete octet, it will gain 1 electron. Then valency of chlorine will be what?
1.
If I say sulfur, student, what is? It should gain?
Yes, sir. Gain 2 electrons.
2 electrons. Then what is the valency you are saying?
2.
And magnesium? Now what it should do?
It will lose 2 electrons.
Lose 2 electrons. Then what is the valency?
2.
Okay, thank you very much for answering the question. All answers correct. That will means you understood the question answer session. Okay, we stop here, and this was a good session. I thank you for being with us, answering large number of questions. I hope you will share these video at least with 5 or 10 friends. Ask them to subscribe, and we will meet you in the next class. Okay, bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.